Hey guys, Lord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra's Scrap Iron with anti-armor drone, if I'm not mistaken. That said, this of course is brought to us by the fine folks over at Hasbro, as well as my lovely Aunt Kelly from good old Florida, who was nice enough to get me this guy for my birthday, which was not too long ago. At least as the time I'm hoping to have this video up, but as the time I'm recording it, I did get it a little bit early, so shout out to her for that one. And it's probably better that she got me this guy instead of my Aunt Tammy, who, if you are familiar with some of my Spawn videos, you will know of Aunt Tammy, I assure you. But he does look a little bit like Freddy Krueger, and let's just say Aunt Tammy doesn't like that bastard. So there is that. So with that being said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Scrap Iron has to offer in terms of accessories, because he is a bit more of a deluxe offering. Starting off, we got some explodey effects. We got a couple of, these look like rocket impacts hitting the ground. There's one that's a little bigger than the other one. That's what she said, but there you go. Get a couple of those. Also get a couple of, I'm guessing this is more rocket impact stuff, but there you go. I will say some of the stuff seems a bit excessive. We also get the anti-armor drone, which is this little tank thing here. It's got some articulation. It does rotate here. Just kind of pivot and tilt and whatnot. It's almost like a ball socket, but not really. I actually thought this thing was supposed to snap down, and it doesn't. It just kind of sits on there, but it's not like loose. It doesn't fall off or anything, so I guess that's a plus. And I don't know what the dealio is with this thing, but some people were saying theirs was loose. Mine is actually pretty tight, even with the effects in there, so I don't know if it's just because I haven't really messed with mine all that much, but it turns, it tilts up and down. I know you can't really see it, but it tilts up and down, tilts side to side, it turns. It works just fine. Same with the tracks, they kind of pose a little bit. I would have liked a little bit more articulation, maybe out here. Maybe something that rolls on the bottom, but I see why they didn't do that. That, and it does sit on your shelf nicely like this. You don't gotta worry about it falling down. That said, what is an anti-armor drone without some rockets, huh? It does come with two of those. Very long rockets. And then it comes with some smoke trails, which, in all honesty, to me, look like churros. A little churro, or a half-eaten churro, and a full churro. So, got these big pegs on them, stick them in there, put the rockets on the end. I myself will only be using the rockets, so you can just slide them in like so. They will lock in if you find the right spot, or maybe they just sit in there. I don't know. Interesting. They don't really, oh, I guess the pegs are smaller, so you can just have them sitting in there, though. Well, that one kind of sits better, but yeah, they don't snap in as snug as the blast effects, but I think the intention is you were supposed to use those, but they do snap in a little bit. Yeah, they do snap in a little bit. Just not a ton. So if you want to do that, I wouldn't. I would just leave them in there and they'll stay just fine. So there you go. There's this anti-armor drone. Not too bad. It's a little cheap maybe, but it's Hasbro we're talking about here. That said, why don't we take a look at the freakish bastard himself, Scrap Iron, who, yeah, looks like he could have used a makeover. That said, he does come with his helmet, so we can cover his ugly mug. Just gotta push it on his head there. And now he kind of looks like one of the, I don't No, mercenaries from the Gargoyles pilot. The old Disney afternoon days. That said, it does also come with a pistol, which is actually based off a real pistol, and it does have a little port on the end for blast effects. You could plug that into his holster here. You can plug that into his holster here. You know, if you're not dyslexic, okay, what's going on here? There we go. Plugs right in. Actually, it kind of snapped in there, so that's good. It's nice and secure. And then he does come with his iPad, so he can play Angry Birds and Roblox and Fortnite and all that fun stuff while he's blowing people to smithereens. That doesn't have a place to store, really. Just gonna put it in his hand, but we'll do that later. But that is scrap iron for you. It's mostly in like gray and black. I think this guy would look great with the Cobra Island Firefly. He had kind of a explodey blow mofos up motif, so I think this guy would go good with him. He also was scarred up. That's the thing with Cobra guys. They either look like Mad Max rejects, like rip-offs of Bane or whatever from Batman, or they look like Freddy Krueger freaks. So I don't know if I would sign up for Cobra anytime soon. You know, maybe they're a cyborg or like some kind of weird mutant, but either way, as far as scrap iron's articulation goes, his head will rotate, look up and down a little bit, tilt a little bit. Feels like he's got a neck joint in there. His shoulders will pop out to the side. He will swing back and forth. Nice tight, but not like sticky tight butterflies on this guy. I will say the joints, they feel tight, like really tight, like give me arthritis tight, but I don't feel like anything's going to break or anything, so that's always a good thing. Shoulders will rotate forward and back. He's got a bicep swivel. Biceps felt a little gummy, but not too bad. Double elbow, that feels nice and solid there. This hand will swivel and hinge up and down, kinda. Not really because of the sleeve. This hand will hinge in and out, kinda. Not really because of the sleeve. It would be nice if we could plug that tablet in on his hip there, maybe, but you can't. You can't do squat with it other than stick it in his hand. His ab crunch works pretty well. Even with the vest on, he can do some crunches, so that's nice. His waist will turn. Kind of bobble about. His hips drop down, back up, kick forward and back. Does have a thigh swivel. Double jointed knees, and let me tell you what, Marvel Legends people, this is how you do double jointed pinless knees. They're nice and freaking tight, but I don't feel like I need to bust out the hairdryer to get them to work. This knee, on the other hand, was stupid tight. Let me see how I can actually get that to move on camera. It's very tight. Oh, jeez. There you go. I might need to put a little soap in that one, but it's tight. Ooh. Jeez Louise. But, yeah, very, very tight on that one. He does have a boot swivel with a hinge in the foot. And a rocker. And peg holes at the bottom of the feet. You want to throw him on a stand, but he doesn't need it. But that is scrap iron in a nutshell, people. He is cool. I dig him. A little tight on that one knee. I might have to put a little bit of soup in there. But other than that, I have problems with him. He is going to stand just fine alongside the rest of my Cobra dudes, because that's kind of the only thing I really mess with from this line anymore. It's just there's too much stuff coming out, and due to reasons, everything's getting expensive. If you guys want me to make a video talking about that, I guess let me know, but I really don't want to. I try to keep things relatively positive here. You know, if I throw out a bitch fest, it's mostly for comedic purposes, like that DC Multiverse Guy Gardner figure, but at any rate, that's not what this video is. This video is nothing but good things, because this figure's good. I like it. It's a little basic, but it's what it is. Before we wrap this sucker up, let's bring in our 2 regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibular. Right there. And the infamous Elevate Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everyone, because unlike Scrap Iron, it's not a 6-inch scale figure. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and I have to be honest in saying that I do thoroughly enjoy good old Scrap Iron and his anti-armor drone here, despite the fact that it was a birthday present from my lovely Aunt Kelly from good old Floridia. That said, I'm not going to say that doesn't give it bonus points, but it does give it bonus points. But at the end of the day, I think it's a fun little toy. Because at the end of the day, that is what it is, isn't it? A toy. And you're supposed to have fun with those. That said, I also didn't experience some of the issues people were having with this particular figure and or set either. So I guess that helps too. But it is what it is, I suppose. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.